does the software business matter? And I think it does add value. It has cash flow, but also it's an AI for BI company. And if you don't think that they're using that technology to manage and understand what's going on with Bitcoin pricing, Bitcoin on chain, understanding where dollar flows are operating and how that's moving, I think that's MicroStrategy has the ability to leverage that technology for themselves as well. Not just sell it to the people, they also have the ability to leverage that technology for themselves.
Okay, guys, I'm doing a difficult job trying to follow all the comments and everything you guys say and pull up. So sorry if I'm missing some of the messages. But as you were saying, I think it's a great segue to this software side, right? My first look at this was, hey, the software isn't doing well, because I was expecting any tech company to, first of all, be growing. Second of all, after extreme amount of stimulus after COVID, you wanted to see all these tech sides and anything software essentially, and especially in AI and BI, to be growing even more rapidly. But there is a lot of devil in the detail. I want you to comment on that, like how's the health of the software business, and how to kind of not get confused by the numbers on top, right? And then understand the effect of the financial engineering with all the cost that it brings to them, right? And then second, all the positive things about the software business. You guys, as you guys said, there's a lot of brain power in here. They just hired a young Harvard grad, and I'm assuming everyone else in that company is just an overachiever. Michael Saylor himself, MIT rocket scientist, right? It can't get better than that. The human capital of a software business like this should also add a lot of value. And who knows, just even instead of lending their Bitcoin or generating any sort of yield, they can come up with a business model on top of it, right? They can come up with a network or some sort of application on top of it. So what are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I think there's a lot here. Yeah, the revenue relative to some of the other like top publicly traded entities is small, right? It's incredibly small compared to anybody, Apple, Nvidia, or any of those other companies. But really, where a lot of the value of this company is held is the ability to monetize the stock as the product and offer the convertible debt. So that's kind of the primary value. But the software business, I think this is an interesting component. And if you were to take this a traditional valuation lens and you were to look at the accounting statements, you would be really confused on what's going on here. And a very similar thing happened to Amazon back in the day when they were shoveling all of their cash flows into R&D. So it looked like they were making an operating loss, but in fact they were building this giant behemoth company. So I think there's a couple things going on. I know that they were shifting their software platform from like what's it called? Like
on premises too.
Yeah, on premises. So it was like they were just selling the software to now it's a cloud platform where they're generating monthly income and they're offering it as a service, like a full sales service with the AI BI platform included. And then they've got partnerships with Microsoft and some other big companies that are offering this product. So it's small. It's a relatively small component of the entire business. However, I don't think it prohibits or limits their capability to grow at any point in the future or leverage their financial products. Partly because the convertible debt itself, one, is offered at incredibly low interest rates, far below the existing market rates, like the Fed funds rate or anything like that. And these financial products can be designed and structured in various different formats to fit an investor's appetite. And I think this could be a good segue to jump to slide 29 in this deck, if you don't mind, Sina.
Can I talk about the software business so you have a second to get set up, Jeff?
Go ahead.
I love the software business. I think it's a hidden treasure. I bonded with it because I'm a business intelligence, quant information analyst. So I just so intrinsically get it versus something like Tesla where there's lithium phosphate chemistry in the batteries and they make the megapacks and they get the nickel and cobalt and lithium. I don't know anything about that stuff. You know what I mean? But I actually understand the concept of BI. I get it. So I have that personal connection, but it's more than that. The software business is not Google. To the last slide of like what the numbers are what they are. It's not Google, but I love that it's not Google, because if it was Google, the stock price would be 10, 20, 30 times higher than it is now, or MicroStrategy never would have bought Bitcoin. A lot of that had to do with COVID, specifically, a la paradigms changed during a time of war. And that was like Saylor's like war moment. He's like, I'm going to lose all my employees. I'm going to lose my company, et cetera, et cetera. So it really had to be this situation of a quote unquote struggling business, which, by the way, he'll say that. He said that on stages at podcasts. He'll be like, my stock was dead money. You know what I mean? And he'll like unpack like how low the volatility was. The options never moved. You know, he'll say these things. So like, yeah, it's the business is not Google, but I think there's a tremendous amount of value in that, because when me and Jeff were battling our buddy, Doc Kruger, a mentor of ours, he was leaving the software business for dead. Said it had like zero or like slightly negative value in his fair model calculation.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I talked about this earlier. Last thing, it's so well entrenched globally. Companies, churches, universities, governments, like I just can't see it going anywhere. So as long as it can just keep chugging along, great. Do I want to see the numbers go up? Sure. But as long as it can just hang in there.
Well, and they're going to get a lot more marketing from this, right? I mean, we haven't reached a mania phase where everybody understands what MicroStrategy is as well. And I mean, if you imagine a situation where the company's trading at, let's just say, a 10 times multiple of net asset value, and they raise $5 billion from an ATM, you could spend $10 million of that, a very tiny portion, for R&D, right? Like that goes a long way for coders that are building out an AI platform or a AI for BI platform. And if you think about it, right, think about the relative scale. So MicroStrategy is holding a $9 billion gain on their balance. They're holding a $9 billion gain on their balance sheet. And you just showed there the revenue from the operating company was 116 million. So the gain that they're holding on their balance sheet is 77 times their total revenue just from the Bitcoin. So you could think about the scale and the relative importance there. It's small, it's important, it helps them service the debt, helps them provide to be able to service debt at some point in the future. And I think it does have ability to scale and grow. Given that everybody's leaning into AI right now, it's better to have it